Hi, my name is Remy Zarn, and I'm one of your customer service representative at Customer Service Center. Today, we are going to spend 30 minutes of your time to talk about VAT refunds. Our focus today are the following. What is your VAT? Your entitlement? How do you file your refund? What are invoices? Proof of payment? Where to get your VAT form? What is global refund check? And other purchases like vehicle purchases and other submission like EU VAT refund and who to contact her. What is VAT? It is the value added tax or Mehrwertsteuer for purchases of goods and services. Here in Germany, we have the standard rate of 19% for goods and services, 7% for lodging and other like subscription. Let's start with what are your entitlements. Per year, you are entitled to receive up to 1,200 euros. If your purchases are at the same store the same day, you can combine all the receipts to be able to qualify for the reimbursement. What are the eligible goods and services? All goods and services are eligible for VAT refund except for food, beverages, and tobacco. Example of services: your car repairs, your train fares, your airfares within Germany only. For example, you want to fly to France. You can't receive, there's no VAT on that one, on that flight. But if you have your train fares, you only get charged VAT until the border. So don't be confused on why is it that it's not, the calculation is incorrect. You only get charged until the border. For example, also for food, exception, all pets food are reimbursable, but not for us. But VAT on car purchases are not included in your yearly refund limit. It's a separate one. So when you purchase a car, you are entitled to receive a different pot of money. So don't worry about it. Electronic invoice. For example, there are different kinds of electronic invoice, like your telephone invoice. The telecom do not issue original invoice anymore. You have to print them out. Your Amazon invoice or electronic invoice. So telephone invoice are submitted separately every 6 months, from January to June. For example, if you submitted your first 6 months and you forgotten to submit for example, the April one, and then you submit it to the next period, they're not going to pay it because there's no way for them to regulate what was submitted before. They're just going to see what months have you submitted already. So you have to remember that for telephone invoices. Second, electronic invoice, Amazon. Please note that when you purchase online, you pay with your Visa, and your Visa is issued in the United States. You can use your Visa, but and then your address there automatically says your US address. As long as the delivery place is here in Germany is, is acceptable. But if you are sending it back to somewhere else, they're going to reject it. So you just have to remember when you order, make sure you have you send it to your local address. Okay, question. Local address, Remy, is it the consulate? This is something that we have to be aware of. The requirements is you have to be a resident here in Germany in order for you to get your VAT refund. So it's up to you if you provide your personal address or the consulate address. It's not really up to me to say yes or no. They are going to say approve it or not approve it. So it's really up to you. Second, um, those two types of electronic are submitted separately every 6 months. Your invoices can be submitted anytime you completed them because CSC submits at least once a week to the Minister of Finance. Filing for VAT refund. You have to have a euro account. That's the important thing because all reimbursement that you're going to be receiving back from Minister of Finance will be transferred electronically to your local bank account. Second, you have to collect all your invoices for 1 calendar year. We need a copy of the sponsor's Ausweis, front and back. And then complete the electronic VAT form, print it on A4 paper, that's the German legal paper. If you don't have them, stop by CSC. We have enough paper. And then the sponsor is the one who is going to sign the voucher. Where to get the form? Okay, now we have them online. All you need to do is click on the link that we provided on the screen, follow the instruction, and then get the form 010161. Complete the form, print it, and submit your voucher to CSC. What are the requirements for receipts over 250 euros? You have to have name of address of the vendor, invoice date, you have to check your little receipts, list of items or services purchased, total cost, the tax rate means you have to have in your invoice the 19% or the 7% there. If not, this is not valid. The tax ID number, that's very important. If you don't have it in your receipt, we can look it up online. On this slide, we have provided a sample of an invoice or a rational, the totals over 250 euros. As mentioned before, requirements are name and address of the vendor, your name and home address here in Germany, vendor tax ID number, the invoice number, the date of purchase, and the items that you purchase, plus the amounts are shown. Plus at the bottom of it is the specified amount that you paid for. For example, the gross amount, the 19% which is specified, and the total. For invoices over 250, you are required to have your name and local address. If it is not on the receipt, it can be added by writing it yourself. The receipt must stamp by the vendor with initial and date. By giving you this example, it will give you an idea on what to request when you are doing your purchases. What is proof of payment? For each purchases that you're going to make, make sure to attach the proof of payment. For example, even if you go to the store and they give you that register receipt, and there's another one, credit card receipt that they gave you, just attach them together. And especially if you are given an invoice. And then sometimes the invoice has it says paid in cash or something, and they sign it, they stamped it. But most of the time, we need, for example, for credit card receipt or purchases or payment, you can provide the statement of your credit card. We're not interested of your personal info, just blacken them out or erase them and submit to us the one with that particular purchase payment. They or the vendor use different kinds of proof of payment. As mentioned before, sometimes they write it down. For example, if you pay in cash, you request it from them, say, could you please put there that you received the payment? And then they will put their cash received, they sign it, they stamp it. Or make sure you have that calculator receipt, proof of receipt, attached to your invoice because I'm going to request that from you. And sometimes it's hard to get it after the fact. Okay? The next slide is our VAT form. We have provided a sample of how to complete your VAT form. Informations are provided mostly from your Ausweis. In the very top, it says first submission, erste Antrag. This number will be provided to you as soon as you receive your first refund from the Minister of Finance. And it needs to be used every time you submit your submission, your voucher. The next one is you have to indicate also which quarter the purchases are, your last name, your status, your first name, and your job title. What we put there is you are a government official, so we don't want a specific title. We only put the name Beamta, right? And then your arrival date, your departure date, and your consular ID or your diplomatic Ausweis number. All this information can be found in your Ausweis, and also make sure to put your local address. And your bank information, that's your Euro account information. Your full name. And then this one here, the next one would be the date and the sponsor signature, not your spouse, just the sponsor. All invoices that you're going to submit has to be on this list. We have letter A, you sequence it from 1, 2, 3, and then the date of bill, invoice number, name of company, what type of services. And mostly if I don't know the German word. If you don't know, just leave it or check your receipts. Normally they specify what type of service or what did you purchase. The total amount, which is the gross amount, and the VAT amount. And then you total it. The next slide is a sample of when you purchase outside. For example, the Christmas market, they usually just give you a Quittung. And this is a sample of the German Quittung that the vendors most of the time handwrite it. And then they put their stamp there at the bottom. They put their store stamp and signature afterwards. And this is acceptable when you go outside at the market and then you have purchased over 100 euros, you can ask for a Quittung. The next slide is about tax refund check. What is tax refund check? These are given to people who say, I would like to get my VAT back. These are only for tourists. But since you are a member of the diplomatic corps, you are not entitled for this, or you can't submit this. This is not for you. You just get all your receipts, complete it, and return to me, and I'll get your money back. The next slide is a sample receipt from IKEA. When you purchase something in IKEA, they're only going to give you an electronic receipt. There's no information there whatsoever of your name and address, and that is necessary for purchases that is over 250 euros. So IKEA has a form that you can attach your electronic receipts, just like on the slide. And then you can write down your name and address, and they will stamp and sign it for you. So if you can't find this in IKEA, we have that in CSC. You can get that from CSC, attach your original receipt, your electronic receipt, and then have IKEA stamp it and sign it for you. So as soon as we have submitted your voucher to the Ministry of Finance, after 2 or 3 months, or sometimes 6 months, you will receive your reimbursement and all the invoices that you have submitted to them with a memo that has an information of your Ordnungsnummer, the amount that you receive as a refund. If there's a reject, it's going to be explained why they rejected it and request to complete and return it back to them for reimbursement. And the money is going to be transferred to the account provided by you. So we're done with how to process your regular voucher. For those of you who are interested to purchase a vehicle, yes, you are entitled to receive VAT refund, but you have to drive that car 24 months in order for you to receive the full 19% VAT refund. Well, how about if you curtail? What they're going to do is prorate the payment that you receive when you leave the country as soon as your car is deregistered. So one thing that I would like to ask you is make sure to stop by CSC and talk to me so I can guide you on how the process is in order for you to get all the documentation before we submit your VAT refund. Next, how about your purchases outside Germany? For example, purchases that you did in Paris, in Italy, in Spain. Yes, you can receive reimbursement, but the German government only reimburses you for purchases in Germany. What we're going to do is assist you in completing a special voucher for EU VAT reimbursement. You attach all the invoices that you have, and then we're going to send it to the Ministry of Finance. They're going to sign it and return it back to you, your personal address. And it's up to you to get your money back from that country where you made your purchase. In the meantime, the submitted amount will be deducted from your total um, benefit, whether you get your money or not. So, what my suggestion is, if you really want to go shopping in Paris, make sure to ask for who the address of the person responsible for VAT reimbursement so you can contact them for your reimbursement as soon as you have your voucher completed. Telephone number, that person, the office, it what doesn't matter because I wouldn't know. I don't know. I only have contacts with the German government. So um, it's fun to go shopping, but make sure you get all your information before you do your purchases. I think we cover all the points that we want you to know in order for you to complete your VAT refund voucher. And we would like to ask you to please contact us or stop by or send us an email if you need any assistance in processing your voucher. And also, for all of you who need a special one-to-one assistance from me, please send me an email and then I would gladly sit with you and help you with your voucher. Thank you very much and have a good day.